Listen, guys, I don't know what's up with this airy-fairy, fluffy narrative. You deserve better. Don't be so hard on yourself, Betty. This stuff going around Instagram and Facebook. In this video, I want to share why you should be more demanding from yourself, why you should demand higher standards and higher performance, and exactly the roadmap to find the in-between between I accept you the way you are, you're doing great, but you can do better. Because I believe the in-between between those two things is the secret to fulfilled high performance. What's up, guys? Alex Hine, author of the book Master the Day. Now look, I've included a free goal setting worksheet. It's the first link in the description that will help you figure out how to reach those wild goals that you have and how to have your best year ever. So you can click it, the first link in the description, you can download it there and get started with that kind of goal setting worksheet. All right, guys, now look, I've got a lot of beef with this infinitely compassionate, infinitely gentle philosophy that people have around themselves. Now look, we always have to accept ourselves, right? Like, of course, if I'm really overweight and I want to lose weight, the solution is not to go in the mirror and be like, you're a fat bastard, I hate you, Alex. You're fat just like your mom said. No, the point is to be like, all right, maybe be more gentle, but also demand that I improve and change my habits. You know, when you look at people who are actual high performers, they're in this weird state, which is accepting that they're doing their best, but also demanding a next level. There's this weird sense of constant dissatisfaction. And it's a dangerous kind of line to walk because you need to somehow accept yourself and not be so unhappy with yourself that you become depressed, but you also need to demand accountability for your life. You know, the best people are not sitting around, doing affirmations and visualizations about, oh, I feel millions coming to me. Oh, I'm going to be a pro NBA all-star. Oh, I'm going to be this professional author that sold 1 million copies of their book. No, like a pro basketball player does the thousands of free throws to practice so they actually become the best. Their self-esteem comes from actually doing the work every day, not from pretending they're going to be the best. In the same way, an author that sold 1 million copies of their book, they didn't get there by being like, oh, I feel the 1 million copies coming to me. They do it by every day focusing on their craft. They're writing a good book, which started by writing crappy books. So it's this obsession with your craft, with skills, with getting better, with changing your mindset and philosophy. This is the stuff that's really important after you accept yourself where you are. So I want to introduce a little bit about the framework I personally use for always increasing the bar, for having a higher level of performance and therefore results, while also feeling good about yourself. So what I want you to do, and what really helped me, is to demand more of yourself in the right way. I've shared my story here many, many times about how in my 20s and late teens, I was the real life McLovin, where no girl was into me. I was constantly wondering what was wrong with me. I was wondering when I was gonna have my first loving relationship. And it all came back to me and my self-esteem and my ego getting offended. Now, in that moment, I could have been like, I'm such a great guy. Why do women not see how good of a guy I am? That's great. That's by all means do that, but it's not going to help you attract the person you want. Instead, I realized there were traits and habits about myself and things related to my personality that I could have worked on. And so I chose to work on them until I was someone that I admired. And then at that point, I started drawing in women that became great relationships. So I see so many of us letting ourselves off the hook. I could have gone into blame land, blaming my genetics for going through puberty late, blaming my mom for having skinny genetics and I was super, super skinny, even in my mid-20s. I could have blamed the school I went to, Clemson. I could have blamed my friend group. I could have blamed women. All the blame could have happened. And I could have easily let myself off the hook. But I didn't. I chose personal responsibility. In the same way that, listen, if you date someone and maybe you're the bad boyfriend, you're not that committed, you're not that sweet, you don't put in that much effort, you don't ever treat the women in your life well, you're probably not watching this, but if you do, you can easily come up with a story that makes that okay. Or you can come up with a way to be accountable and improve yourself. Rather than being like, oh, I was a crappy boyfriend, oh well. No, take that shit seriously. Be accountable. You messed up somebody else's life. Take it seriously and then improve. Or we keep saying in our work life, God, I keep getting these jobs that only pay me $36,000 a year. I really want to be making $100,000 at this job, and I feel like I deserve it. Well, okay, clearly that's not reality because you're not getting paid that. What would it take to get the $100,000 a year job? Because the reality is the company you're at probably has people getting paid $36K and $100K. So the $100K people have different skills, philosophies, and mindsets, and a different work ethic probably that you have. But you can become that if you really want it. So the first part of demanding more from yourself is removing blame from the equation, right? The second you blame, this is the second that you allow something else to supposedly be the key factor in your life getting better. Of course, that's not true. It's us. We are the problem and we are the solution. So for me, the way that I've gone through and kind of weeded out all these blames in my past, I only made this much money even though I worked hard and was loyal. I was a good guy and treated women well, but I never had a girl really be after me until whatever year. Oh, like, why does all this bad stuff happen to me? I wanted a loving mom and I got a cold, unfriendly mom that never sends me those sweet Valentine's letters that I wanted. We remove the blame. We acknowledge the blame. It happened, okay? That worldview, this philosophy, doesn't work for me living a better life. And the new one that helped me was accept yourself and get better. So let's talk about that. So let's go back to little Alex McLovin, right? Early 20s, really getting almost into my mid 20s. Always wanted a serious loving girlfriend where two people really liked each other, really wanted to be together. That's all I wanted, okay? And I could have gone back to the blame zone. Little McLovin, oh, never gets the girl he wants. And so the accept yourself, you know what, little McLovin Alex? You're a good dude. You're a good guy. You treat people well, including women well. You've got a decent work ethic. You've got a good personality. I accept you for not having the relationship you wanted. It's okay. I accept it. And then part two, get better. What were those things about myself that I wanted to work on? Were there negative traits that women noticed or friends and family noticed I had to work on? Okay, you know what? You always wanted to have better conversational skills because you were nervous being an introvert and going into a room and speaking with random people. Like, what do we talk about? So you could work on conversational skills. Here are resources and new habits. You know what? You really admire when a girl is super fit. So are you doing that in your own life? Okay, little McLovin Alex, here's what you can work on with your fitness. Here are the habits, here are the rituals. You know what? You really value when you talk to someone who's super interesting. Okay, little McLovin, here's what you can do. Start taking one international trip per year, find an interesting hobby you're passionate about, and be well read. So accept, little McLovin, it's all right, buddy. I know it's not what you planned and sometimes shit happens and you didn't do anything to deserve it, but you gotta accept it. And now these are the things to get better. And this framework where you move from the blamer, the complainer, the negativity to someone who's like, life sometimes does just happen to you. And really bad shit happens to really good people. Being a good person doesn't mean good things are going to happen to you. But I can create the story that is, God is an evil kid with an ant, a magnifying glass burning the ants, and I'm an ant. Or I can understand that I'm going to choose to be a powerful adventurer writing a new story. And this framework can completely change the trajectory of your life. So I hope that helps. I think right now, obviously, there's a lot of this like infinite compassion, always accept yourself. But I think that's very much only one piece of the equation. And you should always be demanding accountability. If you say you want this, be accountable to that. And stop letting yourself off the hook. All right, guys, impassioned rant for the day. Check out the free goal setting worksheet down there below. You also get an email every 3 days on how I use goal setting to totally change my life. And also check out my last related videos on the topic right there and right there.